Good morning. I hope you guys are doing amazing. We had all kind of new software updates today, and it took me a minute to get on here. I didn't have my countdown timer, so we are about to be ready to go. I'm doing a couple things here, so be patient with me. It's not quite time to start. So glad you're joining. Tell you what, it's summertime down here. It's 90 degrees and humid as all get out. Is it hot where you guys are? I think we've got to wake up the Facebook algorithms from the beach today. Trey just joined. We're going to start here in about 1 minute. And we'll get going here. I'm excited to share about the topic this morning and really to kick off the month of June and kick off summer a little bit and just a lot. So where are you guys calling in from? If you're joining us right now, where are you calling in from? Are you calling from your home? Are you calling from the beach? One of the things you want to do if you're listening to this, I know Trey just put that in the comments. One of the ways that Facebook works before we get started here is it's a great reminder tool. Because what we know is that everybody can't listen right now. We know that there are going to be different, times and seasons when people can and can't join us, but the recording serves that purpose in an amazing way. So you want to make sure that you put people's names in the comments now. Like if Jane Doe is one of your top new prospects, you want to invite her to join us. She might join live, but at least she gets the notice to join later. Okay? All right. Well, let's dive in. For those of you joining for the first time, my name's Kurt Beavers, and this is our Start Well call for June. I'm sorry, I got a little scratchy throat today. But we are in the middle of over a year now of establishing the rhythms of your business. Even though we have different topics, the titles might fool you, like events, the most important part of your business. I'm just about to weave that into what you can do with events to make sure you start the month of June well. Okay? So you want to start each month so that you got the whole month ahead of you and the whole month to work. So let's dive into our training this week. And let's look at, I want to define events for you for a minute. Do you ever get intimidated? Do you ever get intimidated by wanting to do something? I'm trying to think of an example because I didn't think of an example. Like you want to do, let's say you want to run a marathon. You want to run a big, huge race. But what you're really wanting to do is run, and running that first mile is important because you're in the activity. You may still run the marathon, but you've got to run a lot of little runs to get to the marathon. And I think we think about that in our business. We think about events. Maybe, how many of you have ever been to a Juice Plus Live event, like one of our huge, big conferences? Good morning, Rhonda Hubbard. How are you? How many of you have been to one of our big, huge conferences, and that's your picture of an event? And you're like, I can't ever put on one of those events. I can attend them twice a year, but that's beyond the scope of what I'm capable of. And that's because you, in your mind, you've predefined what an event is. Okay? So what I had to learn to do was, is I had to learn to define an event. An event was anywhere that I was having a conversation with someone, exposing them, sharing with them our Juice Plus product and business. And that gave me the freedom to say I was hosting events. I was doing events all over the place. It doesn't have to be 20 people, 100 people. It can be 5 people. I'd rather have 5 of the right people there than I had to have 100 of the wrong people there. hold on. Yeah, I got a call, but I'll let my wife get it. Sorry. So I'd rather have that than I had 100 wrong people there. So you want to make sure you go after quality instead of quantity. Sorry about that. I'm here by myself, and it looks like somebody's trying to get in the front door, so I didn't mean to interrupt this. I'm just going to tell you what happened and why I got in a bad place there for a minute, because I was getting a phone call with somebody at the front door. One of the things that you need to know, and Wendy Campbell made this true. So we talked about events. I'm getting my focus back. I'm sorry. I'm human. So like Wendy Campbell says, you don't have to be perfect. So the events could be anything from Juice Plus Live to potlucks to boot camps to phone calls to health lectures. It's where you're sharing and exposing our Juice Plus business to others. You're having those conversations and interactions. And Wendy said this, and I don't think I've ever realized it more true than I realize it is true today, and that is there are more kitchen tables than there are Sheratons. And somebody can say that like Wendy from the front of the room, and it may not sink into you, but that's a perfect illustration of you defining what an event is. You're thinking of exhibit hall, hotel ballroom, fancy restaurant with a meeting room in the back. You're predefining in your head what an event is when your kitchen table could conduct more business than you could ever imagine. You know, whether it's a potluck, or it's a salad in a jar, or it's a sourdough, or it's just some people coming together to talk about business and their future, maybe how to save money on your taxes. I don't know what the topic exactly might be that's a variation of our business. But think about how many people could come in and out of your kitchen, your home. And we certainly learned during COVID. Some people did. Some people made homes their cave and retreated. But others of us learned that, even redefined and affirmed, that our homes were our launching pad to do even more. Totally different perspective. Some of you think your home's your cave and you'll never do an event there, and you're waiting for the next exhibit hall or airplane hangar to do your event when you've got that resource right there. What's the there's a story, I'm trying to think of the story. Oh, it's Acres of Diamonds, where the guy was searching for diamonds everywhere, and he sold everything he had, left his wife and family to go find diamonds around the world, and he died trying to find diamonds around the world, and come to find out the person that bought his property after him, that there were diamonds all over his property. I just told you a real quick version of the story. But the bottom line is he already had what he needed. He just didn't know he had it. And maybe what you're not realizing is that your kitchen table is already what you need, but you're waiting for the next huge event to take place when your neighbor just needs to sit at you with a cup of coffee or a glass of lemonade at your kitchen table or a smoothie and talk about what you're doing and how you'd love to do this with them. There are more kitchen tables than there are Sheratons. And Sheratons today, let me tell you what, a Sheraton is expensive. Your kitchen table's free. So think about it. Okay? All right. What we're after, now this is a funny picture. Trey put this together. I hadn't seen this picture yet. I love this because this is what I call grandma code. Makes me think of grandma code, because Travis, our leader, says if you can't make stuff simple enough that it's grandma code, then it's too complicated. And so these are two grandmas here in the picture, but that's not what this picture is about. I mean, both approaches are simple enough for a grandma, but what I'm going to ask you to see if y'all notice first. What do you notice about the two grandmoms and the weapons they're shooting and what the difference is? Can anybody tell me the difference in those two weapons? Give you just a minute here. I'll pause. It's hard for me to pause here. Like 30 seconds seems like eternity when you're waiting on a Zoom meeting. What's the difference in the two weapons Grandma's holding? Okay. I don't know how long I can pause. Here we go. The silence is killing me. Is it killing you? Okay, Grandma on the left, what kind of gun is she shooting? She's shooting a rifle with a scope on it. Grandma on the left has got her pump shotgun. Now, for those of you that don't shoot, haven't shot, don't know anything about, Melinda got it, shotgun versus rifle. So, well, this is an approach to killing, or you're going after your target. Grandma on the right, she knows the kind of person. She knows the target she's after. She's got the crosshairs on the target, and she's going to shoot it. Grandma on the right, she's pumped that shotgun, and she's got birdshot in there. And if you're within 20 yards of her, the scatter, you're going to get a little BB in you. You're going to get hit with something because she's just going after a blast in the air. That's how I feel about events, because a lot of people will, let's say, an example would be major events coming up. Let's just use the example of Jan Roberto is going to be in your town, and she's going to speak in someone's home, at a club for dinner, or whatever, for an event. Or it could even be a Zoom event. Doesn't have, but you got a major event coming up with a quality speaker. She's going to talk about complete. That's her main focus. And here you are. You're one of these grandmas. Grandma on the right is going to post on Facebook about the event, and she's going to pray that they come, and she's done. Because she fired a shot. She just hopes she hits somebody. Grandma on the right, she wants somebody that's interested. She knows somebody that eats donuts and Frosted Flakes for breakfast every morning. And she knows that person, if they could find a quick, healthy way to replace that junk sugar breakfast with something healthy, that it would have an impact on them. She knows that person's whole family does that. She knows that person has, maybe diabetics in her parents or family that could be susceptible to all this sugar stuff they're eating. So fret not a small crowd. You want the right people there. You don't want to herd cattle. Events is not about herding cattle. So as you make your memory joggers, as you make your events list, one of the things you want to do is you want to know the speaker, know what their area of expertise is, or did they write a book? Are they an author? What's their specialty? What's something unique about them? If it's David Phillips, not only does he talk about sports and performance, but he was a Kona triathlon, major athlete. Did things that very few people in the world can ever achieve. So you got to tell that part of the story too, and you invite athletes if it's David Phillips. So you've got a lot of options. Okay, so don't worry about quantity as much as quality. You only need 5 people to reach the top in this company. Okay. Now, this is a school bus, obviously, and there are a lot of things that come to my mind. One's, what's the Energy Bus is a great book, but I want to give you an illustration from Jim Collins' book, From Good to Great. Think about this with me for a minute. I have a lot of partners in my business, and they'll get frustrated that they're not getting where they want to get. But yet, they're the ones, they have the most beautiful business cards. Their Facebook page, it looks elegant. If you were to go to their, I would be ashamed to turn my camera around and show you my desk with the piles. There's Luminate on my desk. There's Post-it notes. There's a camera that I use for duck hunting, my iPad. My desk is a mess. But I know what's in my piles and where they are, and you leave them alone. But those people with the perfect business cards, with files that have every article they read about health their entire life organized. They have their tax files so organized. They are, they've got a schedule of the YouTube videos they're going to watch to learn more about nutrition for the next 6 weeks. That's what Jim Collins talks about in his book, because what he's defining, it's also what Paul talks about in Thessalonians, that you're busy, but you're busy about the wrong things. A lot of people make excuses. Look at all that I'm doing. And Paul says, yeah, you're doing a lot, but you're about the wrong things. If you're not doing the right things, it doesn't matter. And that's what Jim Collins talks about in his book, From Good to Great. He uses the analogy of a bus. And he says, what good companies do that don't go to great companies? They have a shiny bus. They have a clean bus. They have a certified bus driver. They've got every camera and mirror and gadget on that bus. It's got, PA systems and televisions. And that bus, it's the nicest, most well-equipped, safest, most driver professional bus in the world. And it is ready to roll. So that company has invested, that person has invested in their business cards. That company has invested in their bus. But you know what they didn't think about? That bus is the bus was equipped and built to get people from point A to point B. Not just for the bus to drive back and forth. So they worried so much about the bus, about the tool, that they forgot to fill the bus up with people. That's what events can do for your business. That's how you grow. That's how you increase your capacity. You know, Jay Martin said, if you want to get somebody to come to an event, you got to have a bumper hitch. You got to have a trailer hitch. And people were like, what in the world is he talking about? Well, you got to do one of two things. You got to go pick them up and get them to go to dinner with you, or you got to go over there and hook their car up to your bumper and pull them to the meeting. That's how you make sure they're there. Obviously a joke, but there was seriousness in that too, in that the priority is make sure that the quality people, the ones you want there, are there, and make sure that happens well, okay? Now, events are all about these three things. I remember Jay Martin in the beginning, there was a stool, and he said, your business is just like a stool. He said, if you got to have all three legs. If you only had two of the three legs, it's still going to fall. You got 2/3. That stool needs all three legs to stand. And events are all about the three principles of our business, which is retail, customer base, recruiting your team, and training and equipping them to do the same thing. I like to connect it back to when I was a child, in the church, I learned about evangelism and discipleship. When you're retailing, you're evangelizing. When you're recruiting, you're evangelizing. You're sharing what you know. You're sharing the good news, too good to be true news. And then your discipleship is your training and equipping others to do the same thing. And events are the building block of doing this. So you use events for all three of these things. We have events that are geared towards all three of those types of things. We have doctors and healthcare professionals that speak about our product. I mean, last night, Wendy Campbell did her wow was in the why, and it was all about the product, the wow of what we have, and the research. And every Tuesday night, we've got a product presentation on Zoom that you can attend. And then we've got recruiting. You've got events that are about our business opportunity. That's our from a virtual perspective, every Thursday night, we have a Zoom call at 8 p.m. Eastern that's centered around the business. And Trey he can post the calendar link for those events, makealife.com/JP events, where you can get that calendar and have access to all those events coming up. Trey can post that for you, okay? I'm sure that's coming in just a minute. So one of the things we have to learn to adapt to is that we're in a post-COVID world. We're probably in, you remember there was Web 1.0, which was basically AOL was the world you lived in. You've got mail. And then there was Web 2.0 where everybody really had high-speed internet, and then maybe we're in Web 3.0 where people live in social media. I'm not sure. Trey, did you get that message about putting the makealife.com/JP events? Can you stick that up on the in the comments? So the hybrid world we live in post-COVID is just like we all, and this is a major attractant for your business, like we all learned the benefit of working from home, having a home-based business. Thanks, Trey. So that link will take you to a calendar of all the events we just talked about, Tuesday and Thursdays. We live in this hybrid world now. Everybody learned and they discovered the joy of working from home. Now, our business was designed from day one to work from home. But during COVID, you had people whose jobs, there was no business for their job to be a home-based business, but the company made it work because the government had scared everybody to death and there were mandates and everything. And so we worked from home, but now there's two terms, RTO and RTW, return to work and return to office, that's happening. And more that's going to happen because they've determined, unless the business was designed to be a work from home business, that these companies are only getting 30% of the productivity for the purpose they were hired from somebody working from home versus them being in the office every day. So that's fixing to come back. But events, we learned something from events too. From the event perspective, we were forced to our screens instead of kitchen tables in hotels during COVID. And we learned how valuable, some of us had never Zoomed before. Isn't it interesting how Zoom's become you need Kleenex if you're crying. You need to Xerox something if you need an extra copy. And if you're going to go online and have a video event, you say, did you Zoom with somebody? And nowadays that could mean maybe you were on Teams or some other platform, but you're going to Zoom with somebody. It's like making a phone call. It's like just showing up face to face. So we learned the value of that. And we tried to hug and kiss and be close together and everybody get a drink at the same time and all kind of stuff. But it really just didn't work like being together, like the picture on the right. There was something that didn't work. But it doesn't mean that the value of those Zoom events went away when we could do live events again, because the world was used to putting forth so little effort to attend an event. Think about the effort that's required for you to either host an event at your kitchen table or wherever, or for you to get dressed and get up and go to an event, versus flipping on your iPad or your phone and turning the camera on or off depending on if you'd combed your hair. So we got lazy a little bit. I mean, laziness was a part of what we learned during COVID. We learned that lazy and inactivity and isolation were just what the world did. We forgot about relationships and engagement and being together and how we were more powerful together than we were apart. We forgot about all those things, so we became comfortable. So now, in today's world, if we forgot... Sorry, I bush hogged yesterday and I've got something in my throat. We forgot how valuable it was to be together. So we can't go back to no virtual events, because there are a lot of people that have not overcome or gotten out of, maybe they just don't have any money in the pajama wardrobe they bought for 2 years. They just have to live in it because they can't, with inflation, they can't buy regular clothes. I guess that's an LOL, but still, you wouldn't believe the people that invested in fancy pajamas and slippers during COVID, and that was their wardrobe. And now they got to go back to work, and maybe even fashion styles have changed, whatever. But we're stuck in a conundrum where we have to have both. This is a hybrid world where we need both. So as you, I want to connect one dot with you right here. We're talking about starting your month, but I'm gonna get back to why events are an important part of that. Let me finish the event training, and I want to get back to that. But there's a reason why events are a part of starting your month. So just let me keep going about events. I promise you I'm going to get back to how this plays a role in starting your month of June. One of the things that is important is, like, you've got this world of information overload, of things coming at you 900 miles an hour. Like on the left, that's just like loads and loads of stuff coming at you. And maybe that on the right is getting really organized, getting things on your calendar. And what I want you to think about is, at the beginning of each month, maybe that picture on the right doesn't necessarily identify that to you, but what I want you to think about, instead of a mess of all your life and information overload and everything coming at you, when you start your month, I want you to understand the importance of events. And after that beginning of the month coaching call, because that's how we ask you to start the rhythm. Today is June the 5th. So you're close to 1 week into the month, okay? But we had Memorial Day weekend, and the month, I agree, the month got off to a slow start. I felt like that, Monday after Memorial Day weekend. I mean, the Monday, we had Memorial Day, we had a short week, and then we had the end of the month. And I felt like that first Monday in June was almost like finishing up May. So we're 5 days into June, and what I want you to do every month, we've talked about it, is have a coaching call at the beginning of the month to kick it off. And I'm not going to get into what that coaching call looks like and everything that you do, because we've got other training on that. There's actually training on makealife.com about that, about the 3 main questions you need to ask and how you assess where you are. But we don't talk enough about what do you do in that meeting to determine what happens the rest of the month. Because we have our finish strong, which is the last week of the month. But those middle 3 weeks in the month, what do you do? What are you doing? Well, one of the things you're doing is you're in that first meeting, you're calendaring, getting on your calendar, like scheduling, getting them on your calendar, the main events that you're going to utilize or host this month. Once they're on your calendar, then you're going to decide who you're going to invite to what events. But one of the main purposes in the beginning of the month is calendaring the events that are important to you. You know, you may live in Dallas, Texas, and you have a prospect or a team member that lives in Cedar Falls, Idaho, or Iowa? Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And you're not going to go. You're not super connected with that market, but you found out because you're plugged into the events Voxer chat, to the official events page on Facebook. And Rhonda, you might go grab that official events page on Facebook and post that in here. I don't think Trey knows about that, but Rhonda, if you can quickly grab that, would you post that Facebook company official Facebook page in here? And if you want to join the Voxer chat, the events Voxer chat, Rhonda or I can help you find that if you want to email. I know Rhonda's on here right now, but or your upline NMD can grab that for you. But what I want you to understand is that you've got to know what events are taking place, and that should be part of your coaching call at the beginning of the month. If you don't know where to find those events, that's a good thing to ask your upline NMD, your mentor, your success partner that's coaching you. Okay, get stuff on your calendar. It's not going to happen if you don't put it on there. Remember, what will procrastination do? That's my favorite new quote that I created. I came up with. God gave it to me. But it is this. It's procrastination can determine your destination. So we don't let procrastination determine your destination. We do it too much. Okay. So what you ought to have at the end of that session is just like Jennifer Garner would say for the credit card company, what's in your wallet? Your upline should want to know what's on your calendar. What's on your calendar? What are you going to do this month? If you're going to start well and have a major month, what Juice Plus high impact events are on your calendar? Are you going to get at least one person on the Tuesday night calls to find out about our product? Those are people that are totally unaware. Are you going to get at least one person on the Thursday night calls that are aware of our product, they love it, and you want to connect them with the business because there's so much more, because they're in that raving fan. They love our product so much, they're a natural person to share it. Or maybe they're like Lori and I, where we looked at the business first because our financial need was greater than our health need when we started this business. But what is on your calendar? When you start the month out, what's on your calendar? Ask yourself, go look at your calendar right now when you get off this call. What events do you have calendared for the month? And do you know who you're going to invite to each of those events? What if you said yes? Something's going on special right now in our business, and that is we have zeroed out what the cost is to go across the threshold to join our business. Now, we have an amazing leader. His name is Travis Garza. I was talking to Shelly Mackey this morning, and then I left Wendy Campbell a long Voxer message because I really felt like, our world has been through a lot since COVID. Maybe some things were going on before COVID where the economy was, where we were headed towards some issues. But since COVID, I think the number one thing COVID did was it let us accept isolation as normal. No matter what you thought about the mandates, politics, the vaccine, the disease, whatever. There were sick people died. But the consequences of the majority of our country, to me, the number one consequence was a mind shift, a paradigm shift, in that us locking ourselves up in our homes with only a computer screen to entertain us became so normal that we lived lives of isolation. And we're coming out of that very slow, because a life of isolation is a life where it's very easy to be lazy, you know? So one of the things that and I could go on and on about that, because I think we're at a special place at a special time to show that person that's sitting there, that's waiting for the right time, the right moment to go build their life again. And Travis Garza, our leader, he's very astute and wise and innovative. And, you know, our business is it used to be $50. It went up to $52, not because we needed $2 more. Our amazing founder, not our current leader, but our amazing founder, Jay Martin, he just had an idea one day. He said, we want to be a business where the average entrepreneur, the average person can become an entrepreneur for $1 a week. So it's $1 a week to own a Juice Plus virtual franchise. It's $1 a week to become an entrepreneur and make a little bit of money or make a lot of bit of money, whichever one you want to do, whichever is the most comfortable for you. So Travis said, let's just take the whole $52 issue out of the picture. Let's bless people that join us and give them more than they give up. So it's only $10, not $52. It's $10 till the end of the summer for you to join our Juice Plus business. And you get $100 back, just a cash bonus. They call it a title reward just for doing that. And you putting your family on the product. We call it, getting your family on it. A couple orders of our 4-blend quad, and you track them complete or illuminate, and your family has accomplished becoming a partner plus with the Juice Plus company. You get $100 back, and you get $190 in free samples. Our complete, our gummies, our bars, our Perform. The company sends you all that. So you get $290 back off your $10 sign-up fee. So it's pretty amazing what the company has done to set you up for this, okay? So what I want you to think about is, now is the right time, but we're in a season where people need a little bit of a grab their hand and say, you know what, let's go build this amazing life together. You know, the reason I'm in this business is because I always felt like God told me that there was more to life than creating a paycheck, getting a job, creating a paycheck, funding a 401k, and in 30 years retiring. He said there's a life now, there's a life with your kids, there's things I want you to do in ministry and recreation and activities and lives I want you to influence, but I don't want you to wait till you're 65 or 70 when you're retired and you have money and you have time. I'm going to show you how to make a life right now, not just make a living. And there are people that need to hear that their isolation has made them frozen, and that isolation said, you know, I'm just going to go create my paycheck. Get up in the morning, put some clothes on from the waist up. I got pajamas and my slippers on below the waist. And I'm just going to work from home, create my paycheck, and keep on going. But God gave you a purpose and a passion, and there's a life for you to go build. Is what you do to create a paycheck funding that life? Or is it what you get up and do that takes all your time and you don't have time to make the life, the purpose and passion that God called you to and called you to be the leader of your family to do? What if you said yes? And now's the time to do that. And so you need to find 5 people to go build the business you want to build. And what I want you to, there's so much training and what we could go in a million directions, but I want you to leave with this thought. Hang on. Here's the one thought I want you to leave with. Most of you that are in the Juice Plus business are looking at this business. You have your target or your sights on the next customer. And that's not a bad thing. You can build an amazing part-time income just by getting customers. But our company offers something that nobody else offers, and that's the leadership benefits and leadership packages for the average person to create full-time income and to get benefits like someone who is an employee of a Fortune 500 company. But here's what's required. You have to have 5 key people on your team to reach that top level. So instead of, I want to challenge you as you plan this month out and you get these events on your calendar, as you think about, I'm in the Juice Plus business, what am I going to do today? you're naturally, if you don't control your thought process, you're going to gravitate towards, let's go get the next customer. I want you to change your thinking, and I want you to not stop. I want you to have this as your thought process until you find all 5. I've got to go out and find 5 amazing leaders to partner with me in life in this business so that we can go build a business that'll change our families forever. I need to find those 5 people, those 5 people that realize that they have dreams and passions and things they want to do. But if they want things to change, they've got to change. They got to do something. This could be a Kairos moment. That time when God punches in there and says, hey, look at this. Instead of just that mundane timeline that was created for you during COVID. Isolation, pajamas, screens. No, God says, this is what I called you to do. So, if you focused on just getting customers, which would create a great part-time income for you, you might never find one of those 5 people to get you into our top leadership, high income, generational changing income positions. But if you focus on the 5, guess what? You can't explain the business without explaining the product. And everybody's not going to get in the business. So if you look for your 5, you're going to get customers. If you look for your customers, you may never find your 5. So what if you could find 5 people that said yes right now when the best opportunity in our company was? It's time to do it. A couple things we do every week to help you. Every Monday. Sometimes it's profound. Sometimes it's just a little nudge. But you can sign up to get a text from me that's just a wake up, start your week. Let's make sure we take control of this week instead of letting the world take control of our week. I'm not going to blast you like political text messages. I hate them too. You can stop this from coming whenever you want to. But this is literally a once a week Monday morning text that just encourages you to start your week with a plan and get started and maybe give you some good news for the week. Because you know the world's going to give you bad news. It'll mess your brain up. You want to put the good stuff in, because if you have a void, the bad stuff's coming, whether you want it or not. So just text the word wake up to that number and you can be added to our text list, okay? I don't even know for sure that I can tell you there's tickets left. I think there's 10, 15. There's not many. We have amazing speakers coming to the Blue Ridge Boot Camp. If you want to come, go to blueridgebootcamp.com. I was on the phone with Wendy and Jan and Shelly this morning. Shay O'Brien's coming from England, our new U.S. Director of North American Sales. Stephen Millman's going to be there. He's awesome. Ashley Hudson, Kendall and Amy Getz, Bob and Deanna Christofferson, Shelly Mackey. It's going to be a great event, okay? This is one of those big events we talked about. That's a medium-sized event. Those are every 90 days somewhere around the country. These are twice a year, our Juice Plus Live conferences. And I will tell you, I'm about to announce it on our NMD chat, but we have a prayer breakfast planned for Phoenix that's going to blow the doors off. God's going to do big things. We do a prayer breakfast every Friday morning at our live conferences. But this is September 12th through 14th. You're going to experience the new digital revolution of Juice. We just launched Luminate, and I think they've given Luminate to our computer because the new digital platform is unbelievable. We're going to be using Shopify to start our customer journey, to start our partner journey. It's the number 2 credit card merchant in the world, and many of you have a Shopify account already. It's so good, so stable, such an amazing platform. And there's more to come. There's a Zego back-end platform that's designed for partners to run their businesses, entrepreneurs. So you don't want to miss Phoenix. And there's way more, but that's going to be major coming in Phoenix. And you're going to hear about Juice Plus. They've been around a while, right? Yep. They went through COVID. They made it, right? Yep. Still the number 1 selling nutritional product of its kind in the world, most research. Yeah, right? But now we have new leadership. Our business model is unbelievable with our new technology platform. You're going to hear things about our business in September that are going to set you back a notch. I mean, I really believe that we're going to be responsible for turning around and pulling people out of isolation that are amazing entrepreneurs, but they got stuck. And so I'm excited about that. And I made a few videos. Who likes seeing yourself on camera? I don't. I don't like hearing myself on camera. But I learned one thing a while back. This is a funny. You have to get used to seeing yourself on camera. Because you know what we did for years before we had screens and cameras on our phones and stuff, or Zoom? We'd get up, throw a baseball cap on, and without thinking, go meet somebody at Chick-fil-A or Starbucks, or go have a meal with somebody. And guess what? They were staring at you across the table, seeing the exact same thing everybody sees on video when you get on the computer. But you didn't think about it because you couldn't see yourself also. This is who God made me, and I am who I am. So just know that when you get on video, it is who you are, and that's okay. God made you the way He wanted to make you, and you just got to go do that. But this screen right here, these videos, I made a few videos that are just talking about why now is the right time to focus on recruiting to build your Juice Plus business. You may love them, you may hate them, but there's 5 or 6 videos there that for the right person at the right time, the right moment, one of those might be the right thing to share. So we made those for you guys, and you can go look at them, okay? I think Trey put the link. He did. And this is just some of our summer coaching schedule. This is on Facebook. This is different than our Tuesday, Thursday product business schedule. On June the 5th, that's today, this is our Start Well for June. We've got a special training on June 19th. Every month we do a Start Well. We usually do a special training unless there's crazy stuff going on. June, we've got to finish strong on June 26th. July is one of those months because it is like the month that the U.S. takes vacation. We got lots of boot camps. There will be no special training. And just here's an alert. If you've got your calendar set to all this being on Wednesdays, that was a little too close to watermelon boats, the lake, and fireworks for me for the 4th of July. So we moved our July meeting to Tuesday the 2nd, so it wasn't quite so close to the holiday. So mark that on your calendar. It's going to be same time, 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday the 2nd. And then our end of the month is July 24th, when I will have just come back from the Blue Ridge Boot Camp, okay? Wow, we got lots. This is May's calendar, so this is irrelevant. There's a June calendar out. So if you go to makealife.com/JP events, you can look. The June calendar is blue, so that's the May calendar. That's what happened during May, and we've changed the schedule to product business fluctuation. So if you go to makealife.com/calendar, I think there's still 2 choices there. One will be the coaching calls like this, and the other one's the Tuesday, Thursday events. Okay, so super glad you joined me. Sorry I went a little bit longer than normal today. I try to do this in 30 minutes, but I think you can see events are important. I got excited about sharing that with you. So be blessed. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you soon.